Looking forward to having them on also. I am super excited to share with you today on the topic that's on my heart because it's the topic that's on my life. So today we're going to be talking about take a deep breath because man, like let's just do that right now. I need to stop and take a deep breath. So good. So good. Just to stop the world for a moment because we can be so busy. And right now, my life is so incredibly busy. We have a women's conference this weekend, the launch of my latest book, Victory Every Day, the launch of Lady Rose Magazine USA edition, all this weekend. Then my daughter's wedding next weekend, and then the week after, Empowering Pastors Conference. So we have major stuff on our plate today. And so that's what I want to talk to you about, though, because we think we can only rest when it's not busy. Let that set for just a minute. We think we can only rest and take a breath when it's not busy. And with that, we get so overwhelmed when there's like 1,000 things that need to be done right this second. And so I just want to encourage you today that you can take a deep breath and that you have more than enough inside of you to accomplish anything and everything that God has in front of you. And we just need to take time, take a deep breath, not allow ourselves to get overwhelmed. 2 days ago, I was just starting to let it get to me and the pressure and thinking that I couldn't do it and even speaking out, I just can't do this. And it was awesome because my husband corrected me and he said as long as you say that, then that's what it's going to be. And I was like, very quickly, I was like, wait a minute, no, that's not what I want to be declaring. That's not what I want to be speaking. And so we have to be very cautious in the times of super busyness of not buying into that, because the truth is you can do it. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. It's not by might, it's not by my power, but it's by the Spirit of God. It's not in my own strength, but it's in the power of God that we accomplish anything that we have to do. So listen, I told you all those things that I have to do just to show you realistically. I'm not just saying this because I don't have anything to do. I'm saying this because you can do a tremendous amount of stuff and still take a deep breath and rest at the same time. So here's some of the stuff that I do to be able to accomplish a tremendous amount of stuff while still enjoying rest. So one of the top things that I do is make list. You have to make lists. Actually, Carla, she's so funny, my assistant and awesome, powerful woman of God, she doesn't just have one list. We talked about this morning. She has multiple lists. So I don't know about that. We have to figure out how that really works. I don't know if that causes her to rest or not, but make a list, and that will help you rest, because what happens is, especially at night, your brain will start going over all the things that you still have to accomplish. You still have to go, and your brain will not shut down until you write it down. And I know you don't feel like getting up and moving at that point, so keep a notebook and a pen next to your bed and just write those. The sooner you write those lists out, then you're going to have mind peace. Oh, so when we talk about rest is mind peace. And in all of the busyness of life, that's one of the most important things that we can have is mind peace. So we need to take a deep breath, rest. It's not too much. Make lists. I find that when I make lists, I was thinking the other day, I had a whole bunch of things that I had to accomplish. And when I was running it through my mind, I was really starting to get overwhelmed. And that was the day where I was like, I don't know if I can do this. And what I did was I made a list. I made a list of all the things. Like I had a lot of things that I had to get done in different places and in different areas. So what I did was I made the list, and guess what? I was done with every single one of those things on my list by 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And I got to enjoy breakfast with our cousins and time with them. And I still got everything accomplished. But when we don't write it down, we don't tend to get to it. And then we never get anything accomplished. And we're starting to feel like everything's crashing in around us. And it's just too much. And I just can't do all this stuff that's in front of me. But when I practically put it in front of me, I woke up that morning feeling like it was way too much. And then I put down a list. I went to breakfast with our cousins and got everything done on my list. And it was done by 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So it's amazing how much time we actually have, and we do have time for resting when we use those lists. And I know there's lots of different titles for this kind of stuff. There's the Pareto and the Pomodoro and all those kind of things. I don't have any fancy teaching on that. My husband's really good at organized teaching. I just have write a list. Write a list, tackle the list, just do it. Don't lally. As long as you're pondering it over and over, you're expending so much energy just thinking about doing it and not even getting it done. So if you want some more rest and mind peace in your life, write a list out and just tackle your list. And I have 2 lists. I have like the long-term list, and then I have the list of today's stuff. And I think that's the Pareto along with the Pomodoro. I'm not fancy like that. But anyways, I have 2 lists. I have like the long-term stuff that I need to not forget to do. But then I have the stuff, all right, these are the things I have to do today. And you know what's really fun is at the end of the day, checking off all those things and then feeling like, wow, look at all the work that I accomplished in a day. So it's not too much. It's not. We have to really arrest our minds and just put it down in a list, and it will bring so much peace. You'll be able to go to sleep at night. You'll wake up refreshed and ready to tackle the day. And you can rest in the busiest moments of your life. I actually did one of these encouragements, and maybe I'll look it up later. I thought of it this morning. I did one of these encouragements a while back. And what I love to do, and it's torture for some people, I love to be able to, when it's so super busy, I have deadlines, I have demands, I have pressure, I have to get this done, I have this person calling it. I'm going to check out right now. I'm going to go make some tea, and I'm going to sit down. Or better yet, I'm going to go kayaking. Or I'm going to shut my phone off. Or I'm just going to go hiking. I'm going to go for a walk. I'm just going to do, you know what? When you make lists and you organize your life, you have time to go for a walk. I promise, in the busiest, listen, I just told you 3 massive events along with a book launch and a magazine launch at the same time, all in a matter of 3 weeks in my life. And listen, I'm taking time. I'm taking a break. I'm going to have coffee. I'm going to have tea. I'm going to shut my phone off. I'm not going to respond to everybody's demands right on that moment. I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to go shopping. It's so important that even in the busy, we are so much more productive when we've taken a moment to breathe. We are so much more productive. We are no good to ourselves or anybody around us when we just get that overwhelmed in intensity, and then we shut down inside and nothing's being accomplished. We're not being productive, and then we're not fulfilled, and then we're frustrated and we beat ourselves up and we're our own worst critics. And so we have to take time to take a deep breath. It's okay. I promise that stack of stuff is going to still be waiting for you. I wish it grew legs and walked away, but it doesn't. But go ahead, make some tea. And when you're feeling the most intense, listen, you're not going to be productive. You're not going to be productive in those moments anyways. So you might as well brew a cup of tea or some coffee, get a book, put your feet up, set your timer, 45 minutes, go for a walk, do something to just allow your mind to rest. And making that list is an awesome way to get mind rest. It is an immediate, takes that pressure off your mind and gives you the rest that your mind needs. I mean, there's sometimes I feel like my brain actually hurts, like it's gonna pop because there's so much in it. But as soon as I transfer it from there and put it on paper in a list, it's like, I can breathe. So take a deep breath in those moments. Rest is mind peace. So I want you to see rest as mind peace. I mean, man, there is nothing like having mind peace. That is some of the best rest that we can get, especially as women. Our brains, it's so hard to get our brains to shut off. Sometimes I can't rest by just sitting down and making tea, because then my brain is going to actually work. So I have to do something that is not necessarily feeling so restful, but I have to do something to replace that in my mind so that I can have mind peace. Because let me tell you, mind peace is so valuable. It's some of the best rest that you can get, is allowing your brain a break, shutting it off for a moment. I actually deleted all games off my phone for a long time. I deleted them, but I'm going to be honest with you. I put one back on. I put one back on because I needed brain peace. I needed something to do that would take my brain off of the intensity and give me something that I could focus on nothingness. That didn't matter. And listen, it's very dangerous. I'm not saying to do this, because some people can get so caught up in it and it consumes their life and wastes their life. And that's why I deleted it in the first place. But in this busy season of my life, I downloaded that, and I plan on deleting it after. But right now, I needed something to take my mind off of everything that I have to do so that my mind can rest. So mind peace is so incredibly valuable. Rest is unplugging. Rest is shutting that phone off, not responding. I know it's crisis. I know I got a message over the weekend. Crisis. This is an emergency. Please answer me. But guess what? I was physically not able to drop everything and answer in that moment. And guess what? Part of me was also not willing, because listen, I can't be dropping everything every time somebody feels like their life is a crisis, because it's not really. I mean, listen, it's never really a crisis. I mean, you can tell if it's a crisis. If it's somebody that it's life or death, you better respond. But most of the time, I'm serious, 95, I won't even give it 99. 95% of the time, it's not really a crisis that you have to drop everything for. And then you're going to be frustrated because you dropped everything. You interrupted everything to respond to this, and it's not a crisis. So unplug. Take 30, 45 minutes out of your day in the busiest time. Listen, I am talking to you from current personal experience. Take 30 to 45 minutes out of your day and just rest. And if you can, sit down and close your eyes just for a few minutes. Let your eyes close and just, if you can, think of nothing. Let your eyes close and think of nothing. Sometimes I have to blare worship music just to be over my mind and try to give it some rest. But making sure that in the busiest time, you are taking a deep breath and realizing you can do so much more than you even think that you can do. It is amazing to me the amount of work that I can get pumped out when I take a deep breath, when I make my list, and when I take time to just shut everything off, take time to go for a walk, take time to read, take time to have some tea, whatever, just taking time for me to be able to have a break in the middle of all of that craziness. Go ahead and take a deep breath. Everything's going to get done. So last week we talked about teams, and that's another great way to have some rest, is being able to add teams to your life. People that will do things, people that will take even if it's a tiny portion. It's amazing if you get enough people together how much a burden it can take off of you and allow you to breathe. So this is a build off of last week's. Building teams around you is my secret to success in everything. Nothing I do is me. It's because there's a team of people that are compiled together that make those things happen. So on top of having the teams, take time to breathe. You have to breathe. Listen, If you get you're going to pass out, you're going to crash and burn, you're going to be no good. So take time to breathe, make your list, write those things down. And it's so much, I love taking things off my list. Like that's one of my favorite parts of the day is when I can be like, oh, that's done, that's done, that's done. And at the end of the day, after I have my today's list, then I can go to the big list. And some of those things were on today's list and I can take those and that big list gets smaller and smaller. And you're in control. You're in control of your day. A lot of times when you're super busy, you feel like it's owned. My time is owned. I don't have it, but that's not true. That's what our mind tells us. Our mind tells us you can't accomplish this. You can't get all this done. You're owned. You're controlled by everything around you. It's not true. You are in control. You are in absolute control of anything and everything that you do. So make lists. Be in control. When you don't make lists, you are not in control. You're allowing. You are allowing. It's you. It's not anybody else. It's not the circumstance. You are allowing life to overtake you. So get in control. Make your lists. Write them down. Rest. Take a deep breath. Just shut off. There's been so many times, even like when I'm in the middle of reconciling a bank statement or something like that, something that you've looked at so many times and you can't find the mistake. You know what the best thing to do in those times? And you probably experienced it too. I shut the computer off. I stopped doing it because you can sit and you can hurt your brain trying to go through it and not get to it for hours. But I found when I shut it off, I take a break, go get something to eat, get some coffee or tea in me, and then I come back to it. It like just pops off the page. It's amazing. But we can get ourselves in such a tizzy and such a frazzled state by not taking a break, by not shutting down. And it's so imperative that we do this every single day. Even in the morning, that devotion time, that time with God, just saturate yourself with the peace that passes all understanding. That's the study God has had me on every day this week is peace. Peace, he says it over 467 or 476 times. Peace is mentioned in the Word of God. That's serious business. We need to be in peace. We need mind peace. We have to have peace ruling in our hearts and minds. And when we don't take control of our time and make those lists, there's no peace. Peace is important. It's not just something that God suggests. It's part of the crucifixion package. It's part of what he died for. It says the chastisement for our peace was upon him. That's what he died on the cross for, so that we could walk in peace. So it's really serious business. This isn't just like, oh, this is a good idea for you to do. No, this is what God wants for our lives. He came that we could have abundant life, not so that you can run around ragged. Like, I mean, I do suggest not planning 3 ginormous events at a time. There might not be a whole lot of wisdom in that, but hey, we just like to do things big, so why not? Just to prove that we can. I guess we just do it so we prove that we can. And guess what? We can. I'm still here. I'm still smiling. I still have peace in my heart, and you can too. But it's going to take you taking control and making steps to write your list and to take a break. Just breathe. Just breathe. Take a deep breath and breathe. You're going to come back better, more relaxed. You're going to have mind peace. You'll be able to hear clearer. You'll have answers. You'll see clearer. I mean, sometimes you can't even see straight. When you have so much on your brain, it affects your eyes, your vision. Like your eyes actually, yeah. See, I mean, they're relating in the room. It is really a true thing. So you have to, I mean, that's why I even said, just close your eyes for a few moments. I mean, you just come back clearer and better. And I promise you, from doing all of these things at one time, you can get them all done. You can do it with peace. You can do it with joy. You can do it better with a team. I strongly suggest that from last week. If you didn't watch last week, go back and watch it because it's going to help your life. But you can do this. You can do this, woman of God. You can do whatever's in front of you. You can tackle everything that you have on your plate. You can do it well. You can do it with joy, and you can do it with peace. But you're going to have to make your list and take your time to breathe. So take a deep breath with me right now. So when it gets most intense, go ahead and do that and take a break. Step away, go for a walk. It's healthy. It's healthy, and it'll give you healthy ministry. It will cause everything around you just to be healthier. So take a deep breath. I love you, and we'll see you back next week.